Hi there, and welcome to Ivan's Daily Photo. Today I wanted to play with the concept of lines, and this is something that you can easily do at home and this is a good exercise because it allows you it allows you to see things that you might have not noticed before, and especially if you're doing this at a place that you're very familiar with. It's a challenging exercise because you might say, well, really there is nothing. Around my house there is really nothing attractive. I don't see anything great. I only enjoy photography when I go to beautiful places and I go across the country or in Europe. And so let's try this exercise. Think of lines and grab your camera and then walk around your house or even indoors as well as outdoors and look for things that have lines in them and spend 20, 15, sometimes half an hour. The more you do this, the more you start realizing the more that you are seeing things that you looked at before that you didn't notice. So this is a wonderful exercise to discover things in areas that you might not be interested on. But the reality is that photography is like that. Photos are everywhere, and it's just a matter of finding them and having the right eye and intention to locate them. So I'm gonna walk you through several of the photos that I created today and then eventually the photo for today. Let's take a look. So I'm looking for lines, and it could be, in this particular case, it's a carton, and that obviously clearly straight lines, but I like the effect of the curtain itself so that it creates this kind of curves. This is just another curtain, but three things are happening here. The obviously mostly the curtain itself, but then the shadows and the light is really working interestingly. Then I look for things that are lines, and I see a structure and column into an eve, and so it's creating kind of an interesting play of lines. Then concrete, the sidewalk, things that are pretty obvious that you wouldn't think of a photograph, but here's a play of lines, and I'm creating these squares, and it's kind of like an interesting concrete flag. Even wood that has just all cracks in it, it creates for an interesting play of lights. So I keep looking around. I see this fence, and the play of light and shadows creates for a very interesting set of lights, and it's very monochromatic, and it's kind of one of these photos that makes you look for different things. A set of tiles that are painted makes it for a kind of interesting play of squares, and I found this very, very interesting, and I kind of capture it that way. Sometimes something very, very simple, and it's monochromatic again, but there is obviously a clearly interesting plate of lines as well. This is just a canopy that is actually black, and that white line, it kind of found it interesting, and the background is obviously dark because it's in the shade. This is a cover for the grill. It's all aluminum, and the line is just a reflection of light into the edge, and it makes it kind of interesting. And my photo for today is this one. The light on the tube that is basically the drain for the water that comes from the top of the ceiling down against the wall makes it for a very interesting character. It's a round thing, but the light is just really hitting it perfectly, so you can tell that it's a round piece. And the background, the texture, makes that cylinder actually stand out. And again, a very monochromatic, but I'm letting light play to give me texture, to give me forms, to create a photograph that is three-dimensional, even though it's a two-dimensional work. I'm trying to use light as best as I can. So there you have it. That's my photo for today. And day 45, May 15. I hope you like it.